thank you for joining me again as I waffle on about the little projects that I've been doing. I've got a few that I want to share today, but the one I'm going to start with is a self-published album. It's something I've been working on for quite some time. I've been writing songs since I was about 12 and singing since about then as well. And it's been a dream to have a music album published for a very long time, and I finally did it. I did try a few different ways to get published, but nothing really worked out, and then I discovered I could do it on my own. So if I can get the album to sit right and not reflect too much, there's the finished album. And it's called Midnight Blossom, and it features 10 songs of mine that I wrote, both the music and the lyrics to, and sang. I've wanted to do this for such a long time, and I've got disheartened in my own work along the way, but recently I thought, no, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to self-publish now, and I've done it. So inside there's the CD, and if I can show you the cover a bit better. There we go. The artwork on the front is something I did myself as well. You'll probably see that around quite a lot because it's one of my favourite pieces. The songs on there are mainly from personal experience. Two of them I didn't write on my own. It's in Your Eyes was written by, the lyrics was written by one of my best friends, Jennifer Natras, and I did the music for it. And Who Needs the... No, it's not Who Needs the Day. Which one is it? How Many Ways. There you go. How Many Ways. The lyrics was co-written by my ex-husband, Matthew Newman. We're still on good terms, so he was quite happy for me to publish it. Again, I wrote the music for it. All of the tracks I wrote, but the music, while I wrote the original pieces, a man called Tony Frost did the majority of the tracks for me. So he took the original chords that I did and then wrote the backing track behind it. So I have a lot to thank him for. He's really talented. He's also had his own album published recently, so I'm really pleased for him. It's been a long time coming, and I hope he's really successful with it. But he is so talented. It's like he reached into my brain and he wrote these tracks in the way that I had intended them to sound, but didn't have the talent to achieve that, really. So many thanks to him. The original the original tracks I wrote with very limited software. They did at the time. I started doing them when I was about 18, and they were okay. I managed to get them down. But what Tony has done with them has been phenomenal. One track though is called You. That was produced and the music was written by I think it's Peter Minarik and Susie Bergerova, and Susie also features on the backing vocals for Fairy Tales and You as well, and Tony Frost features on the backing vocals for a number of the other songs as well. I have to thank Iconic for helping me record them. Tony was working in association with them for quite some time, and that's how I met him and these tracks were created. So I'm really proud of it. I've done a simple music video for the track You Don't Hear Me Crying, just so that people can have a little bit of taste of what's on the album. But there's a lot of tracks on there. There's 10 tracks, but they're all sort of different styles, because I'm somebody that tends to write from, I get influenced from what I'm sort of listening to most of the time, so the styles do vary quite a lot, from pop to folk. There's a little bit of R&B in there, yeah, I'm really proud of it, having gone from having no confidence whatsoever in my own abilities to now having this in my hand, and it's a real thing and people can go and buy it. It's quite a big thing for me. Nika is my artist, my singing name. My real name's Nika, and as with House of Nika, I used a nickname for a very dear friend of mine. So yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about this. One of the songs is I would say parental advisory. It's not really intended for a young audience, because there's swearing in it. It's quite an angry track, really. It's quite funny. People seem to think they know who it's about, and when I wrote it, I didn't have anybody in mind. It was just a response to another friend of mine. She'd written some lyrics and asked me to tweak them and put some music to them, and I did. And for some reason, the track Dagger was an answer to that, almost. It wasn't answering my friend, but it was inspired by that track. But it does, I do swear in it, and some of the imagery is a bit violent, so yeah, parental advisory with that one. Another track, Toby and Mark's song, that one was a very difficult one to record because I couldn't get through it without crying for a lot. It's about my brother and a friend and colleague that I used to work with, Toby. Now, originally I'd written it about Toby, but just as I was going to record it, my brother died. And Toby had died quite a long time ago, quite tragically. He was involved in a head-on collision. He was only about 23. He'd been hit by a drunk driver. Thankfully, if you can say thankfully, he died instantly. So he didn't suffer. But it was quite a shock. So I wrote the song about him when I heard. But as I sorry, getting a little bit emotional. As I had been about to record the track, my brother passed away, and the lyrics seemed to fit with him as well. Oh, sorry. The lyrics really did seem to fit with my brother as well, so I renamed it Toby and Mark's song because they could not be more suited to the pair of them. To apologise. As you can see, again, I did say I write from personal experience, so that is quite an emotional track, really, for me, and it's quite emotional to talk about it as well. But in my own way, I wanted their memories to live on, and there is now something out in the world with their name on it, and to let everybody know how special they were. Sorry. So, moving on, I'll try and cheer up a little bit. There are 10 tracks, as I say. They're all a bit different. They're all from personal experience. My favourites are a track called Fairy Tales and Dagger. I really like that one. And You Don't Hear Me Crying, which is the I did the video to, which you can find on my my YouTube page. Anyway, as I said, it is available from createspace.com or amazon.com, and I do hope anybody that buys it will enjoy it. So thank you very much for listening to me. I'll see you soon.